Hello, is this thing on? I just realized that the music had stopped playing, so give me just a second here. It definitely wasn't how I was anticipating to start the actual stream, but we're here anyway. So let's actually go ahead and let's go ahead and actually get into chit-chatting for a moment. And of course, my buttons are not working properly. Of course they're not. Wouldn't be a Leo streaming without it. How we doing? Okay, oh, I know what that was. That was, my little avatar bot that's, like, right here. So, I just launched the game because I did not launch it prior to stream. I should have done that, but I did not. And I am interested to see where this goes. I am not 100% certain what to expect. I had read briefly about this, what was included on the DLC page. Like, for example, the customizing the actual harbor, the expanded marine industries. I didn't even know that they had added in marine industries until this update, so I don't know if that was necessarily an expansion to that or necessarily it's just completely brand new. I don't know. And then apparently I've heard through the grapevine that there's apparently some new maps dedicated to bridges and ports. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and experiment with it all. I don't know what to expect, but my mind is open and ready to receive. I just hope that it's gonna be enough. Okay, I'm gonna quickly turn on that. You guys should be able to hear it. Well, it's not even coming through anyway, so I'm not gonna bother worrying about that part. uh, I don't know why, but for some reason, there we go. For some reason, YouTube was being weird and it was showing me a past preview rather than the current preview. Let's go ahead and actually talk about City Skylines 2. Last time that I had done anything to do with City Skylines 2 was, geez, I think it was a stream that I did like 6 or so months ago. So it's definitely been a while as far as what I remember from the game. I have played it a couple times since then, but not to the point where I remember everything that goes on with the game. So essentially, I'm going to be treating most of the game as a first playthrough. But obviously, that may not happen. Also, different perspective for the camera. I had this over on Twitch when I was streaming throughout a couple times last month, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know how I like this positioning right here because it's kind of a bit more direct, and I feel as though you guys are looking up at me rather than looking directly to me. It kind of feels a bit weird, but I'm gonna roll with it for at least this month. Try and see if I like it. If you guys like it, by all means, you guys know what to do. Put it in the chat. Um, and yeah, let's actually go ahead and get into the game here because I'm kind of curious as to what we got going on. I'm gonna go in quickly though, double check that it actually is capturing the game because I did not check that prior. Nope, it was set to Phasmo. Of course it was, because that was the last game that I was recording. I got a couple of videos that are lined up for YouTube here relatively soon-ish. Do I actually have... I think we're good. I would assume that we are. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into it then. So, with the Bridges and Ports DLCs, a few things have been added. So, new ports. So, port transport menu, the water tab has been expanded. The new port offers more flexibility or flexible ways to create bustling port areas in your cities, and their various upgrades expand their functionality even further. If you are wondering why you cannot hear any sort of like game audio or anything like that, that's because the game audio is currently muted. That's primarily how I have it set up at the moment. I will change that though after we get done with this introductory screen right here. Industrial fishing. So zone menu will now allow us to go into place industrial fishing area and an offshore oil rigs. This is something that I was interested in when I saw the latest first look video with Transport Fever 3, which that is currently in the works. I am just working on getting it edited and published for later this week. So we got zone menus that are in the specialized industry tab. Fish can be obtained through fishing and fish farming, with fish farms also available on land. Okay, so that's something new compared to City Skylines 1. I'm interested about that. I wasn't aware that that was going to be a thing. By all means, though, that is curious. I am potentially curious about the implications as far as how that's going to play around with the game. Offshore oil rigs, though. So zone menu specialized industry tab, obviously. Offshore oil drilling allows access to underwater oil deposits, oil harbors, and then it supports 2 types of oil platforms. The complementary tower oil platform is used close to the coastline and is connected to the oil harbor via an oil pipe. The semi-submersible oil platform can be built further into the seed, and it is connected to the oil harbor by a seaway and an oil tanker route. So I'm guessing that's going to expand a little bit on industry side. So that should be something interesting that we can mess around with. And I totally didn't even decide to read the rest of that. Let me go ahead and fix let me go and fix the audio real quick because you guys obviously can't hear anything, which is kind of weird. I think I know why though. Let me go into you. There we go. Cities. There we go. Okay, that makes it a lot better. Okay, we can now hear things. I can now hear it as well. So apparently I am gonna play normal difficulty. There are a few new maps. Okay, so we got the Driftwood Reach, kind of a 50% buildable area. Has all the different outside connections. 0.0 tons, 0.07k tons of oil though. That is pretty high. I don't know how I feel about that though. 0.29 thousand tons of fish. Okay. In this vast expanse of the stretched island, nature's bounty thrives. Okay, so 45% here. Another European one. I'm perfectly fine with European themes. I'm kind of... Ooh. All the different islands that I can see on the map picture for this one, Sanctuary Bay, makes me like this one best. Even though it has, I think, a pretty low buildable area. This one has a pretty high buildable area, in fact. But this one has a pretty low buildable area. Even though it also has a... I would say that's low, but that's actually a pretty decent amount. Decent amount for oil as well, so that's actually... I think that's better off than all except for this one. Yeah. So this one looks pretty good. We could definitely go ahead and mess around with this. 5 degrees to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, so interesting. We can definitely work with that. I think we will go with this map. Let's see here. I'm just gonna name this our normal city. If somebody wants to suggest a name in the comments, you are more than welcome to do so. We are playing on easy. We'll play natural disasters, left-hand traffic, unlock all that will be set as normal. Natural disasters is going to be set as on because I don't mind playing with them. I just don't like them to be super frequent. So let's get into it. Now, last time that I played City Skylines 2, it had a fairly short load time. And I think that's still the case with the game. Yeah, because we're already in the game proper. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the map real quick. We got a lot to mess around here. Okay. I do kind of like this map layout. We do got, what is this, a dirt road over here with a rail line. So we could potentially do something with that later on. We also got a rail line that juts off right here. It's a single line. So let me see here. The single line, though, connects to a cross line. Okay. And that cross line does connect over to here as well. So the potential for a lot of industrial harbors is actually quite a lot on this map, is what I'm gathering. So you got the potential of having a harbor over here, the potential of having a harbor in your starting area. Don't know how I feel about that. And then also it looks like you got the potential of having one over here on this little like plateau that looks like the highway is completely separate. So maybe at one point we go ahead and connect this 2-lane highway, which I'm just now seeing that it's a 2-way highway. Oh, and that looks cool. Okay, I like that bridge. Admittedly, this exit right here seems a little bit janky, in my opinion. I kind of don't like the look of it. And it does go and extend to a 4-lane highway, but yeah, it looks like it just drops down to a 2-lane and then goes off to the exit of the map. So that's not a bad, like, setup. So you got plenty of connections to mess around with. Like, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 airport connections? Oh, okay, that's a lot. Comparative to the other maps from the base game, where they typically only have, like... Also, I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit because you guys can't really see my face. Compared to the actual base game maps, that's actually a lot of airport connections. Looks like that is a... Is that an airport connection? Or no, that's a marine connection. Okay, so we got one there. We got one over here. Are those the only 2 that we have? I think so. I think those are the only 2 marine connections that we have. Everything else looks like it's going to be air-based. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a mixture of... So if we're going to focus this being primarily where we're going to look at making the custom harbors, the marine industry, this is going to be quite expansive, in my opinion. But obviously, we're just looking around. We're not actually building, so let's get started with the building. So we end up starting with a 4-lane road here, Daffodil Street, that gets us out of the highway onto a main stretch. I don't mind this. Admittedly, I don't like these 2 intersections right here, or yeah, these 2 intersections being so close together. Maybe like we go and separate this one out a little bit more. Mostly because this is going to be converted into an arterial at one point. So we're going to have to plan for that. We also got this outside connection for electricity production. We most likely will be able to get that relatively quickly. We're starting off with $1 million in the bank, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with doing that, but let's go ahead and actually get started with a few roads. So, oh, I'm looking at the wrong menu. So, oh, and we're having a little bit, okay, that's fine. I kind of want to put some roads here up along the shore side. I do want to get topography up. Yeah, okay, that's what I kind of thought when I saw the map. That's a little bit of a rough terrain right there. That's not ideal, in my opinion. Seems a little bit steep, but it is doable when it comes to creating shoreline houses and like. So we can mess around with this. We may end up having to tweak the landscape a little bit, but we can definitely mess around with it. Let's get started then, because I'm quite confident that we can actually get this relatively quickly. I want to get a road like right around here. And I'm just going to have it follow the shoreline a little bit. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a freeform for the shoreline. But admittedly, I would want to do that, but you can see how it curves a bit too close to the actual like shoreline there. So I'm going to use the complex curve tool and do that instead. That's actually a bit better, I think. Yeah. We'll do that. That's a fairly... not that bad, actually. That's... and looking at it now, it's not steep by much either. Like, this is definitely a buildable land. This maybe is a little bit less so. But yeah, that definitely will be fine. Let's go ahead. Come up here real quick. I do want this to be kind of built as like a shoreline neighborhood. At least that's my idea. I get that there is this train line right here, but I feel like this train line is going to be in the direct vicinity to go over to this side of the city. So this area can be primarily used for housing, which is actually a good call, to be honest. So we got that. I think that should be fine. Let's see. I do like that this street is right here, but admittedly, I kind of would like something else. So let's go ahead and bring this out a little bit. Bring that out to there. And then I want to bring you out to there, so let's do that. And that. Okay, and then you can go straight on into that street. It's not a perfect connection, but I think that'll do. I'm gonna get you to come along this way. And I'm gonna get you to come along as well, but I'm gonna... let's see here. I'm gonna get you to come to right there before I use a complex curve to do that, and then we'll go ahead and do something like that. Let me go ahead and get rid of this real quick because I have an idea. Let's get... trying to think how I want to work this out. We can definitely have this curve right here. Ooh, but actually having that curve start right there actually would be better. And that's not bad either. So this will be kind of like the starting neighborhood, so to speak. And I do want to kind of like maximize this as much as possible, so that hence why I did want to start off of the shorelines grid. Obviously, we do have this little bit of a curve right here, but I think that's fine. We aren't going to be losing much space due to the water. In fact, I don't think we're going to lose practically any space, like maybe a hair off of the actual like shoreline itself. So I think that should be okay. I'm going to put some waterfront properties over here. And we're going to go and let that build at some point. Let's go ahead and sort out how we're going to handle electricity. So electricity we can handle in one of three different ways. We can go with the expensive option and place down a small coal power plant. That is going to be a good a good long-term investment, but it's a heavy initial cost. So I don't know. I don't think I want to go with that. Plus, what we can do is any excess electricity, we can just export out. So that's not a bad thing to do. Directly from the power plant, I mean. That's actually a pretty good idea. That way we get a little bit of extra income at the start. That way that power is not going out of use, so to speak. I kind of like that idea. It's a little bit of a heavy starting investment. Plus, at some point, we are going to switch over to oil, which oil, let's see here. Oh, we don't have an oil-based power plant yet. Okay, that changed. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's. We don't have any. That's something that I hope that they add, because if the whole thought process behind this is oil, admittedly, I think that having a oil power plant would be ideal. But I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that there might be a industry that's about power generation. There's a fuel plant, not a power plant. Oil refinery. No. Seafarers Shipyard. Fish and Chippery Seafood Factory. Interesting. Nothing there that really shouts to that scale for me. Yeah, nothing that really shouts like that to me. So I think we are going to go with the coal power plant. So I'm going to extend this road just ever so slightly. I'm going to extend it to 122. And let's just go ahead and play it safe. Let's expand our road line to right there. And we'll place our coal power plant. Let's see. I kind of want it to actually be like adjacent to the road right there. So I'm going to have to place that road like 5 back. No, that's 4 back. Okay. Okay, I see where I have to place it. I believe that's correct. Oh, I have to place it 1 back. Okay. That's where I need to be. Yep, that's where I need it. So let's go ahead and place you right there. And what we'll do is, I think we can, yeah, we can just go and connect that to the grid. That way any excess electricity gets exported out directly into the outside world. So that's actually pretty good in my opinion. We're going to have plenty of resource there. I didn't check, but okay, that's not helpful. Eventually, I think I'm going to move our industry down to the down to this sort of plateau, or not plateau, this peninsula part of the map right here. That might actually be better, but right now this is going to be shooing off into the actual like residential area, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. I'm also going to place some residential right there. That's of our waterfront housing. And we'll get some more over here. We're going to want a little bit of commercial just because there's going to be that initial demand that we're going to have. And because I know we're going to have an initial demand, I'm going to place some industrial just right there. That's going to be temporary. That is going to be moved at some point. But let's go ahead and get the buildings sorted out. We don't actually have water pumping yet, so that should be something we look into. We can actually place this like right here, but water level too low. Oh, okay. I could go ahead and just bring it out, but still, water level is too low. So I'm gonna do a ground pumping station. It's not great, but I feel like it's gonna be a good solution for the moment. We're gonna need a sewage outflow pipe. I'm gonna put this right here on the edge of the map. And then connect that like so. That should go and export out our sewage. There we go. And here we go. We got a poopy pipe. I am curious about how this is going to plan out. Once when we get this starting bit of the town sorted out, we'll go ahead and start experimenting a bit with the actual bridges and ports, because honestly, this is going to be a lot to go over, because I think that there's quite a lot within that's new to the game. Is there anything new as far as anything else is concerned? Let's see. If there is, we would end up seeing the bridges and ports icon. It does not look like it for the moment. Let's see. Nope. Oh, yep, we do get some storage yards. So those get unlocked at Grand Village. Okay. Trains, so two-way train track lift bridge. Interesting. And then, of course, the double train track lift bridge. Okay. So we could end up benefiting off of that a little bit as well. Trams, double tram track lift bridge. Okay. So, yeah, lift bridges aplenty. Lift bridge for subways and a trestle arc bridge for subways. Water. Okay, that's where a lot of them. So we got a small port, medium port, and large port. So we'll need to unlock the water node for the progression and then, of course, get to Grand Village. We get some port roads. A lot of stuff. Okay. Ferries. Ferries are brand new, so we get a ferry depot, shoreline, quay, or key, however you want to pronounce it. Ferry terminal. Yep. And narrow boatway. Okay. And looks like airports are left alone, so nothing new there. Let's see. We got a lighthouse that is inside of the parks. Won't be unlocked till Grand Village. So Grand Village is going to be kind of like our milestone gatherer. Bouncy Castle Park. Attempts to defy gravity are expected in this bouncy castle. Defy gravity. Oh my goodness gracious. So that leads me into a little bit of a interesting idea, because later this month, Wicked launches. In fact, I think it releases into theaters like next week, if I'm not mistaken. I already have plans to go see it because I am a Wicked nut. I do actually like my Wicked movies. So, yeah. I went to go see the premiere of Wicked last year. Not on premiere day itself, but over the premiere weekend. And I did absolutely love it. So I definitely do want to see the sequel to it. Based on what I'm seeing inside of the trailers, it's gonna be a little bit interesting. Okay. Let me go ahead and just extend you a little bit. I want you to come out to there and grab you there. Perfect. I do want to, let's see, make a complex curve real quick. That's fine. That's actually perfect to what I was thinking. We're not going to extend this road just because I don't think it's going to be worth it to go and extend it through that. Plus, having this larger block is actually a lot better in my opinion. Okay, so we are getting people moving into the city now. We are slowly but surely going to have people coming on in. And I suppose we're just going to have to wait and see what else is to come. Let's see. Yep, a lot of these houses are practically what I was thinking of. We do need a little bit more commercial, so let's go ahead and build some of that. We'll go and build some right there. That does go and get rid of a little bit of the demand. Not by much, though. And I think we can just go and do some over here. Yeah. That does help a little bit with our demand, not by much. No, I'm not going to put that right there. I'm going to have to put some more industrial over here. Okay. So far, I think that's looking pretty good. I just kind of want to speed on up so that we can get to the Grand Village milestone to hopefully start messing around with the stuff for the DLC. Also, I should go and check this, but... oh, I set them up to a custom. I'm going to just set them up to high real quick. Just to see how my computer handles it. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a problem running this right now, so okay. We're getting plenty of residents moving on in. We're getting, roughly speaking, yeah, practically we're going to be getting over 100 residents by the end of this first week. We do have a slight negative in terms of a trend for money. And there we go. We got our first progression milestone. So we get 3 land tiles, 1 progression point, and a 25k bonus. Let's take a look at that progression point. Admittedly, I kind of want to prepare ahead of time. I don't need it right away. I do just want to be prepared for when we get a death populace coming through the city. I don't think we will in the near future. Crossing my fingers here because I have no clue if that's actually going to happen or not. But I would say that we could possibly get a crematorium. That's what I'm thinking. We don't have enough to get either the incineration plant or the recycling center because it's not worth it for us right now. We can't go after a water treatment plant. We don't have enough development points. We could go after the emergency battery station, but I don't think that's necessary given the fact that we do have the coal power plant. So that's going to be enough production for us for a little while. In fact, if we take a look at our electricity, we're overproducing by about 18.6 megawatts. So yeah, we aren't even consuming that much. So we can definitely not worry about the power station or the battery station or the upgraded gas power plant or just the regular gas power plant. Admittedly, I kind of don't want to go down this route. I do not want to go down it to get the nuclear power, but I do kind of want to go towards geothermal or solar. Those two kind of sound the best to me between the two, for this city at least. Parking areas, advanced road services, and roundabouts. Not sure. I think that advanced road services might be a good call. Yeah, so let's go and do that. I think that is going to be a good call for us to go and get right away. And we're already like a third of the way to the second level. I'm going to quickly adjust myself because I'm a little bit off kilter. Okay, we do have some people needing medical, so I'm going to pause the game real quick. Admittedly, I don't want to go after death care, but we're going to need it at some point. I'm going to get a small clinic real quick. And my game is lagging a little bit. That's fine. I'm just going to put the small clinic right here. It's going to be close enough to this residential populace that they're not going to worry about getting unhealthy. This person right here, though, is dead, waiting for a hearse. Okay. That's going to be a little bit difficult. So we do have these upgraded road types. Oh, and we do get some of the Q roads. Interesting. Okay, so these ones actually do snap along to the roadside, so that's good. 4-lane trestle arc bridge. Oh, that looks elegant. I like that. Okay. Oh my lord, that's a huge bridge. Okay. Well, all of these designs so far. And, of course, you got the 4-lane drawbridge. Of course you do, yep. You gotta have the 4-lane drawbridge. The drawbridge section, though, is only going to do that when you're crossing over a, yeah, that section of road right there. Which is fine. I'm not worried about that. Ooh. Game lagged out a little bit there. We do need it, so I am going to go and get it sorted, but let's go ahead and build a little bit more over here. We need more people coming into the city. Lovely. We have a downtrend of money coming on in at the moment, so we're currently behind by like 969 per hour. Funny number. So let's just go ahead and... No, I do not want a complex curve. My bad. And let's just go ahead and build this out a little bit. I know I said that this industrial is going to be temporary, and it is. Eventually, I do plan on moving it away from the actual populace. And move you right there. And that should be fine. We'll go ahead and get some more industry. Well, actually, we don't need more industry. We need more people coming in first. Because right now it's saying that they have lack of labor. And if we take a look at the numbers, it's specifically with uneducated and poorly educated. So that's something we got to consider. They got apparently a lot of educated people, but not a lot of poorly educated. Which is fine. And I think I have an idea for that. I'm going to go and put in some row housing over here. And we're going to go ahead and mess around with that a little bit. Row housing is pretty easy to go ahead and zone in. I'm not doing a full bit of zone housing here. But essentially the way I've done it is leave this gap here right next to this roadside so that way it doesn't build off of this road. And that way, as soon as you know that you got a full one on either side, you can just fill in the rest. That's at least the method that I've gone with. Yeah, so got one already over there. We already got that demand for medium density already fulfilled, so there's that. We got all this stuff, so I'm going to leave that alone. We're slowly going to get rid of this sort of filter right here. It says that we're in a high need for industrial demand. I don't think that's accurate, to be honest. I think that that's... Yeah, right now it's slowly filling in all the jobs that we have available at these plants. Not enough skilled... Yeah, oh, that should be fine. Profit, that's fine, okay. Okay. Our commercial area is going to be bustling for a little while. In fact, actually, it's kind of interesting. This one seems to be bustling the most. It's a... Oh, because it's a pharmaceutical. That actually does make a little bit of sense. We got beverages, chemicals, beverages, paper, food and meals, furniture, convenience, petrochemicals, food and meals. You're just a barber shop, so you're just providing a service for recreation instead. Petrochemicals, beverages, furniture outlet, textiles, convenience, electronics, yeah, recreation, yeah. So we definitely have quite the disbursement, but only one pharmaceutical place, so that's kind of interesting. Okay. So there's that. I think we can go ahead and put some more. Let's see. Ooh, game lagged a little bit right there. So it did go and flatten the terrain along here. Admittedly, I kind of didn't want it to do this, but I kind of figured it would. Let's go and put some more of the waterfront housing over here. And it's already filling up, which I don't mind. So there's that. Okay, so those are good. I think that we can get you in right there. We're constantly going to be going up on residential, so. And it looks like we got a heavy amount of traffic over here, so I'm considering about upgrading this intersection. So let's go and do that real quick. I'm going to put in some traffic lights here, so that way it's actually a little bit more controlled. Looks like some people are coming into this electronics store, which does make a little bit of sense. There's only one electronics store at the moment. I'm going to put some more place over here. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of people coming in and out of this area. And admittedly, I'm kind of thinking converting this into a one-way road. That actually doesn't sound like a half-baked idea. So let's go and do that. I want to have you be a two-lane road going that way and a two-lane road going that way. We'll have you come along there and two-lane coming down that way. And we'll go and extend the two-lane over to here. That way it's just easier. And what we'll do is we will go ahead and put another traffic light right there. So that way it's not going to be congested like crazy. Yeah, we're going to be getting a little bit of traffic right here, so just got to be a bit patient with it. It will clear up on its own soon enough. This vehicles place is actually a bit busy. Yes, I know that we have a lot of traffic congestion over here, which is understandable. We got a lot of people that are trying to move about this one-way section. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks this, but when I try to go and increase speed from 1 times speed to 3 times speed, I feel as though it doesn't change the speed. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, it's barely noticeable, if at all. And already, oh my goodness, a lot of people trying to come into the city. We got some traffic lights right here, right? Yes, we do. Okay. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn this off. And turn that off as well. So that way the only intersection that's really controlled is the main arterial intersection. That should go ahead and clear up this traffic right away. So that should be fine. Okay, people are trying to... I'm guessing they're trying to come over to the pharmaceuticals. Yeah, they're trying to come over to the pharmaceuticals. Try and get some basic resources there. Yeah, it's going to be congested for a hot minute. Unless I go ahead and convert this into a one-way coming into this one-way stretch, then it kind of gets a little bit complicated. But actually, now that I say that out loud, that actually does make a lot of sense. And we got another milestone. $50,000 rewarded, a +2 progression points, and +4 land tiles. We also got the Fleur de Tea. Tea salon with a beautiful terrace welcoming you every day for breakfast, lunch, and afternoon treats, where you can sip on a variety of teas and other refreshing beverages. Nice. So now they're going to move around and come down this way instead. That should hopefully help break apart the traffic congestion that we got going on. People are going to go ahead and merge over, slowing down the traffic over here. But I think that's just going to be how it is. This area is picking back up. This area is going to pick back up as well. However, this is going to remain congested regardless. So that's fine. Oh, and we're in the positive now. We're at positive 1,900 per hour. That's really good. That's actually really good. I am not opposed to that. We could also get a school now, if we so choose to. If I did, I would want to put it right there. Before I do that, I want to go ahead and work on getting the industrial area moved down here. Because admittedly, having that industrial area up here is going to cause more pollution near our actual housing area than it is worth. So, let me look at land tiles real quick. And it looks like I can get these two right here. I don't like purchasing land tiles, especially with the fact that it has a high tile upkeep. 67,379, but convert that to per hour. Hold up, let me bring out my phone real quick because I don't remember what that is in per hour form, circumstance. Shoot. 6,7,300. Divide that by, let's say, 30, and then divide that by 24. That's roughly an additional 93 per hour. So it's not bad. It's just that it could be better. Let's go and purchase that then. And what I'm going to work on is I'm going to work on extending this arterial to come down to here. We also got this castle ruins over here that could be an interesting centerpiece for something. Just saying. Just saying. But let's go ahead and bring our roads down first. We can go ahead and let the game run it on its own. We no longer have the traffic congestion over here, which is actually pretty good. I like that. Let's go ahead and grab this road, though, and bring it along. So let's go and keep it straight for about 500 yards. And then we can go ahead and... I kind of want this to do something interesting over here. So let me cook for a minute. And I kind of want it to come here. And we're going to do something similar to like a Y intersection. But instead, it's going to be a Y intersection where there's going to be one side that breaks off in this direction and another side that breaks off in this sort of direction. Okay? Can you kind of see where I'm getting at with this now? It does go and make things a little bit more interesting. I kind of just like that idea a lot. What I will do is I am going to go ahead and just briefly put a... Let's put you right here, I think. Like a one-lane offshoot right there that I think would work perfectly. And I'm going to use some of the road service tools that we have. So we're going to disable you from making left turns. That way you have to come down this street. You cannot make... Oh, I just realized that left turns right there won't necessarily be ideal. Like, I could... I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to redo that real quick. Hold on. If I made you instead a something similar to that. Kind of don't like that. I kind of don't really like that, guys. I don't know. Let's see. Let's do that. Okay. That should be better, actually. I don't anticipate this getting much usage, but it's better to have it than not. So let's go ahead and get some things sorted out here. First, you are not permitted to make left turns. You're permitted to make left turns. You are not going to be permitted to make right turns. And you are not going to be permitted to make left turns right there. And you're not going to be permitted to make right. You're not going to be permitted to make left. So you're just going to be that. And then you're not permitted to make right turns right there. So that's how that intersection is going to work. Broad Street is going to be kind of like the connector between these two. And I think that's fine. I don't mind that. So this will allow it to split up, which, thinking about it, I do want to consider making this an asymmetric road instead. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. That actually does work pretty nicely. So there's that. We got a deficit of 48 per hour, so let's go ahead. I want to quickly put in some more medium density townhomes over here. And then I'm going to place down some more medium density townhomes over here as well. So we're going to keep this area for the townhomes, keep it going. I think right there should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's get you connected to that, and you like so. That's going to get rid of our medium demand that we have for residential. That should be fine. So, as far as industrial over here is concerned, I honestly think that the industrial over here can be focused towards this part of the shoreline. Yeah, I think that would actually work pretty nicely. And as far as this rail line is concerned, it's quite possible that we could go and make it go underground and then come back out over here. That's not bad. So let's go and do that real quick. Let's see. Is there any... Yeah, there was a key that we have now. So we could mess around with that key. Two-way road. With wide and shallow ribs. No. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move you along like so. I want to bring you inward just a tiny bit to like right there. And then we're going to go ahead and grab a 2-lane and bring you to there. That way the key kind of connects us kind of nicely, in my opinion. And what we can do is we could go and smooth this out a little bit. I kind of want to do that. Come on. Oh, nope, not like that. I think that's kind of a bit janky, in all honesty. Let me go ahead and upgrade this part of this road. to be like that. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. So that's fine. Now we can go ahead and bring this key down this riverway just a bit. And we'll just bring you straight along to here. So that's going to be an interesting sort of like coastal development right there. Having this key stretch along this actual perimeter right here, this kind of gives me the idea that this is going to be intentional for like a boardwalk, or maybe it's going to be something else. But obviously, we're going to be moving our industrial over here, so this could end up leading over to a harbor that we'll have over here, I think. That, or I may end up deleting part of this to make way for a harbor. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. We will figure that out. As far as these streets are concerned, I do want to keep them moving along, but I'm gonna move them with a little bit of some freeform to try and avoid taking down any of the larger trees. And we'll go ahead and just wrap this around. And I think that should be fine. What I am actually going to do, though, kind of want to break that up a little bit. And then what we'll do is we will have part of this key get broken up by this arterial. And then we'll bring this along here to connect that. But we'll bring that like right there and like so. You, on the other hand, can go ahead and be brought to here. And that should be fine. I'm going to quickly check here real quick. Yeah. So the idea that we got going on right now is that we're going to move our industrial over to this side. I'm going to pause the game real quick so that way I can explain this, my thought process a little bit. And adjust myself as well. We're going to move the industrial area, which frankly it's temporary anyway. That's fine. We're going to move it down here off to the water. This is because the actual wind pollution is facing out towards... Ooh, excuse me. Had a little bit of a hiccup right there. The pollution that is going to be coming through the air is going off in this direction towards the water. So we got to keep that in mind when we're building our residential. And I think that's actually going to work out pretty well for us. As far as how this area is going to look, that's going to be a slightly different story. Let's go and bring this out real quick. And I want to bring you out to about right here. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to move our industrial plant off to the edge right here. Overlapping items. What are you overlapping with? Oh, is it because of the slope? Oh, actually, no, it's because of that. So, pause the game then. That should be corrected. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We'll go and place you right there. That does go and flatten the elevation a little bit. Bring you along there, so that way that brings up the elevation for that. And what we need to do is bring you over here. So let's go and have you... I think that should be close enough. Yeah, we'll bring you right there. And that should be fine. That's going to be the start of the new industrial area. I think that should be good. So let's go ahead and build this out a little bit. We'll bring out a... let's see. Well, actually, I'm going to bring out the line over here. I'm going to get rid of the guidelines. And we're going to bring that down there. And... ooh, not ideal for our guidelines, but we're going to have to bring that down here. And we are going to have a few connections to the arterial over here, but that admittedly is not a bad thing given the fact that this will be an industrial area, and the idea is that like they could go and just loop around here rather than just like clogging up all of the streets. At least that's my thought process right there. I'm going to bring this up to about right there because I'm going to end up plopping that and plopping that a little bit. It's not directly comparable, but it's something. And I'm going to just go ahead and bring you right along to here. Yeah. Too short? Okay. I can possibly just keep it like that. Looks a little bit awkward, but I think that's fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move over the industrial. We are gonna go and get rid of our industrial that we have over here, practically. And they're all going to rebuild somewhere about over here. Okay. That's going to go ahead and build. All of these should go ahead and disappear relatively quickly. Okay. And then let's see here. I do kind of... yeah, we do have access to the inland farming for fish. Do I need... no, I don't. Okay, so I don't need fish to be like a zonable or like a ploppable industry type on land, which makes sense. Yeah, but that's gonna be at Grand Village. Let's go ahead and put our points down. I think that for water, yeah, we need to go ahead and put them down here, and that's gonna be at Grand Village, so we're gonna end up unlocking that. We're gonna need 2 points for water, and we'll get basic transport services automatically. So that's fine. The 2 points that we have right now, though, what can we use those for? I think one of them is going to be used for the crematorium. And another one we'll go and use for roundabouts, because I do want to end up using roundabouts at some point. We got a little bit of some traffic congestion over here. Let's see. What's going on? Why are you guys causing traffic over here? Why is that? Is that because you guys are trying to get over to this side? Looks like it, yeah. That sounds about right. Yep. Yep, sounds about right indeed. Sounds about right indeed. None of them are going to be heading over to the new industrial area anytime soon, which is fine. I'm not super worried about that, given the fact that the industrial area is pretty small right now anyway. But I think they're going to be primarily using this road in order to get to and from the industrial area. Even though this road should be faster. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not a mastermind when it comes to this game. Okay. Let me go ahead and place you there and there. And I'm just going to connect you directly across. Not ideal having electrical pylons like that, but I think it's going to have to do. It's just going to have to do there, chat. Okay. And we do got some pile up for garbage, so I kind of want to get that sorted out. Let's see here. I kind of want to put this like right here. Like right in between. Let me go ahead and put this on an off road. Or off the actual key road. Because I feel as though it would make sense to put this on a off of the key. At least coming from my perspective, it does. Terrain. Level terrain. I'm gonna turn down the brush size a little bit. My goodness, you guys are just bringing up that terrain like right there. I'm like, no. That's not what I want either. God damn. Okay. Okay, that's actually somewhat better. Okay. Okay, the shifting tool is definitely a bit weird, but we can obviously soften that terrain a little bit. Okay. I think that works. That does work. And it has officially hit sunset mode, so my lights inside my house have just turned on automatically, so that tells me that we're about an hour into the stream. Damn, okay. I wasn't expecting to go an hour in already. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and bring you along here. Stop at about right there. Gonna stop there real quick, and you and you and you. I want to expand you so that way you're kind of snap into line. There we go. So that is going to be our garbage complex, which looks rather interesting, I guess. that'll just have to do for now. How it gets used, that's, I guess, something that we'll work on over time. Okay, so admittedly, the only reason that we have traffic going on over here is because of the traffic lights. And this is a good reason as to why you want to unlock the roundabouts. So, what I'm going to do, the actual commercial properties are not going to like this, but I'm going to get rid of the zoning that's right here. So that means this building's going to go, this building's going to go, and so is this one. What I'm going to do is I am going to be placing a roundabout right here. And we'll do a... I want to do a medium one. Medium one actually looks... makes me think it's going to be the best choice. So there's that. We'll do that real quick. And I'm also going to get rid of into commercials right here. So, because we're going to have two roundabouts right next to each other. That surely won't cause any issues. But that should go ahead and pick up on the traffic and fix any of our traffic issues that we've been having. That actually is looking pretty good so far. Yeah, it is looking pretty good so far. But I am kind of worried here that traffic coming into the roundabout is not actually yielding to the traffic inside of the roundabout. So... Yep, we got yield signs we got there, there, and there. Traffic should always yield to whatever's already in the roundabout. And it looks like it is doing that. It's just that it's not necessarily doing it the best. Okay. We do have access to districts, so I think what we'll do is I want to put a heavy traffic ban on this area. This is an entire residential area. And even though that there is some commercial right here, I don't think it's necessary to put commercial. Oh, we don't have access to the district creation tool. We gotta wait till Grand Village. Darn it. Okay, well, that ruins my fun. Let's go and get some more, I guess some more... Yep, some more, housing sorted out, I guess. That's what we really need at the moment. And in fact, I do think that, like, let me take a look at the unemployment rate real quick. Unemployment, yeah. Unemployment is currently at 16%. That's actually really high, so I think we're going to need to get some industrial coming on in. Some more. So let's go ahead and put some more along the quayside. And that should be fine. We'll also get some commercial over here. And yeah. Just so that way we can get a little bit of some business going along nearby the industrial. Okay. I think that's fine for now. So, one thing I am going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and grab this piece right here. And I'm going to go ahead and build it out so that way at about... $5.10? Nope, I don't want freeform. I want $4.99. Okay. At some point, I want this to go ahead and loop back around this way, since this road right here... Okay, that's our main road right here. I want this to kind of like dead end into this loop bit right here. So let's go and bring this down. And while we are going to have it stop right there, it's not going to dead end. Now right here, should I have another one of these intersections? I think I should, because it's really a similar angle. Not exactly the same though, but a really similar one. I am going to just go and move this along here because we are going to go close up to the seaside. And let's go ahead and move you right here. And like so. We'll go and also bring another road like that. That creates our span of arterials over here. I am going to go and get a 2-lane road over here now that I'm thinking about it. And we're going to go and get this sorted out. I think right there should be fine. Let's have it be right there. And let's use our advanced road tools here. So no left turns coming from you. Coming from you. And no left turns coming from you. No right turns coming from you, you, or you. That is pretty good in my books. And look at that, we got Large Village already. Riverside Grill. Nice, okay. And we got a lot of traffic congestion building up over here. Okay, so I really need the districts tool because I know that there is a district policy that allows us to control the traffic in this area. So I really want to go ahead and implement that so that way this heavy traffic is not coming down this like 2-lane road right here. I think I know why it's coming down because it's all the new people that are trying to move into these areas, which is fair. We are doing a fast expansion on that part, but yeah. Let's see. We do got a lot of people crossing over right here, so that is causing a little bit of a traffic buildup. So what we could do, get a pathway going over. Let's do something like, ooh, that is way too high, I think. Get rid of the guides. We'll actually have you come along that way. Oh boy. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna need to... Oh, I need to go and actually... I know what I need to do here. Okay. Let's do that. Why are you doing that? Oh, because you... Why did you place a pillar right there? Game be weird. Okay, so this should act as a easier thoroughfare, is my idea. And of course you're not placing it because the game is not understanding how to properly build the bridge right there. Let's put there. You there, and you right there. Okay. We're good? Yes, we're good. Okay. And then we want to bring you along like so. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and disable the crosswalks there, and I guess right there as well. We can also disable them right there, but nah. I do need to go ahead and actually bring that down here a little bit. So that way they can at least connect to both sides. Okay. That should hopefully get rid of the pedestrians blocking traffic. That should make it a little bit better, I think. But oh my lord, that traffic is just horrendous. Okay, we do just need to let the game run at the moment. Just to go ahead and get these people into their new houses. And, okay. Also, I'm going to go ahead and place down the road maintenance vehicle over next to our industrial area, which I think is actually a good call. I'm saying that it's a good call because we are having such heavy traffic problems. And I think it's also due to like traffic congestion as well. Yeah. Traffic jam. Yeah, traffic jam right there. Traffic jam right there. All the way up onto the highway. Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, we also got some crime actually in the city. So let's go ahead and get our first police station. And I think we're just going to get a regular police station, not a small one. Because I think that in the long term, it's actually going to be more beneficial for us to have a regular police station. Okay. So we're going to get people that are going to go out and about and perform duties as police officers. There's actually our first cop car that has gone out. It's currently en route to a location. Okay. Why are you guys being slow right now? Oh, because... Oh, okay. I know what's going on here. I think we can go ahead and implement a small traffic light right there. Just so that way these people actually have a safe way of going about. Yeah. That's going to be a lot safer. And yeah, it does look like that's going to actually work pretty well. That should hopefully fix our issues with the traffic a little bit. Okay. Okay, that seems good. We are seeing less people on the bridges right now, which is fine. I'm not worried about that. I am just worried that, yeah, our traffic problems are just going to continuously keep growing. Which honestly makes sense in City Skylines 2, because City Skylines 1 always had traffic problems. Was a no-brainer, to be honest. So it's just part of the game and the simulation. Okay. We're already an hour and a half in, and we're only at Large Village. Oh, damn. Light. Let there be light, please. I know this is a very weird, like, sort of overpass looking thing, but it's really the only thing I can do to go ahead and fix the issue with the pedestrians. There's too many pedestrians that wanted to go and cross over here, over to this side, so it just made sense to go ahead and add that in. Okay. So, let's see here. Our population. Let me take a look at our unemployment. Our unemployment has gone down. That's not too bad. It's sitting at 11.5%. Okay. Is that because we don't have enough uneducated workers? Okay. It also doesn't help that there is jobs available, but not all of them are going to people. I think it's because our education level isn't ideal. Some people don't really have a good education. So, like, for example, we do have some people that are eligible for basic education and people that are eligible for regular education. We already have a decent number of the population that is educated, as far as high school is concerned. But yeah, it definitely gets a little bit tricky after that. Okay. Crematoriums. We definitely need one now. We've had too many people die already that it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that we are going to need a crematorium. So let's go and get one placed down. There's going to be a couple of those hearses that go out immediately. Okay. Oh boy. I wonder, could I go ahead and... I think I can upgrade this road real quick. I want to... Yeah, asymmetric. Let's get an asymmetric road. Right. Like that. Yeah. That actually will help us out a little bit. Okay, why is there so much traffic over here? It's because of all the traffic around here. Oh my goodness gracious, that's a lot of people. Yeah, there's just a lot of traffic coming up right there. And why is that? Is it this vehicle right here is causing issues? That's just a regular... Yeah, get out of there. Come on. I hate it when there's vehicles like that. They have no proper explanation as being able to act like that. Yeah. Also, I'm going to go ahead and rebuild some of these townhomes because they are not taking up the full slot. And let's just go ahead and... I'm gonna... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Void snapping, please. Thank you. I am gonna place one more house right here. Obviously, I want to make sure that it's full. I need to go and have you rebuilt and have you rebuilt. You and you. You. And you. Okay. So, I think that's fine. And I think over here we can build another residential area. This actually would be a good area to have a residential area. So let's go ahead and sort that out real quick. I think what we can do, bring you along right here, and I'm going to have you come across. I'm going to actually also put a bridge up over here. Yeah. Get rid of grid. Let's do that. And drop you down. Get angle snapping back on, or grid guidelines. Okay. So that does help with providing a second connection. See, we're already going to start getting people using that second connection. Okay. In my opinion, people are going to be happy enough to use that. Whether or not it is going to be the best solution, I have no idea. I genuinely don't. Right now, our population, we do have, unemployment is sticking around the same, so let's go and get an elementary school in. Why not? Right there would be good, but I kind of want that further down a little bit. That or I place it down over here on this side, and that's not necessarily ideal. Okay, real quick, I'm going to expand these roads. So let's do that first. No, not you. Yep. Okay. I want you to come along here. That should be fine. And then I want you to come along that way. And then I can also get rid of these roads right here. Get rid of that real quick. Get rid of guidelines for a minute. And I want to go and bring you along here as well. People are using our arterial now, so that's good to know. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. And it looks like people are definitely using this bridge overpass right here that we got. Oh, and looks like we got somebody that had a traffic accident. How did you run off the side of the road like that? Oh, you have a muscle card. Okay, that explains why. I hate to go and put that card out there, but yeah, muscle car drivers tend to go and get into more accidents than regular drivers. Just a fact. It's just a fact. I think I will put the... Oh, you gotta be joking me. Don't be pulling my leg like that, game. Okay, that does go and get us to grand. Express on the go. Yep. I'm gonna pause the game right there real quick, so let me do this. The reason I'm wanting to do that is to realign the grid because, oy vey, that's annoying. Let's do 2 there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, let's see here. I know that you're going to be roughly that amount of space, so if I can try, so that's going to be a 6 gap that I need. Yeah, have a 6 gap between the actual elementary school and the next road, so literally a full cell worth. And I think that can do. That works. That works quite nicely, in my opinion. Yeah. I'll actually get rid of that. Get rid of the zoning grid. Right there. That's actually pretty good for that part of that grid. Now I do got to figure out what I'm going to put over here. Maybe like a park or something. But now that we have Grand Village, we can actually put in districts, which is what I'd like. Hallelujah. Okay. First and foremost, let's get a district going along along here. Let's get that going right there and there. Move you along that and there. I am just gonna butt you up to the actual edge of the tile. Okay, and I think I'll have you come across there as well. Come on. There. Come on. There. Nope. Right there. There we go. That's fine. That is going to be our first district. I'm going to go ahead and select it real quick. We don't have any policies that we can assign to that district. And the moment that we do is we get that at Boomtown. I know that we get a couple at level 5 at milestone 5, so there's that. Okay. We did go and unlock the ability for us to get the water node, which is what we need for a lot of the stuff relating to ferries and waterways and everything else. Oh boy. So, creating a small port looks like it does require us to have some sort of like opening. Oh, okay, so it works like that. Interesting. So you kind of have to... So what this small port does is that essentially it tells you this is going to be the entry into your port, and you can customize your port from there. Huh. That's kind of interesting. That is kind of interesting. Okay. Okay. Before we do that, I'm going to get a couple other things sorted out because our city is kind of a bit sparse. We don't got much going on for it right now. So what I really want to do, I want to go ahead and do a couple different things, actually. So first off, I need a bus depot. That's granted. I need to get some type of public transit in the city so that way we can go ahead and keep people moving about in the city in a more economical format. Let's go ahead and get a couple of bus stops in. So we're going to get a sheltered bus stop literally like right there. Okay. And we're going to get a bus stop right here. Yeah. This is going to be kind of like a main thoroughfare, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and cut you along to here. And I want to cut you along to about right here as well. I'm going to bring you into this area right next to where the crematorium is. That's going to be the setup for our first line. A very short and simple line. Nothing crazy. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Nothing of that nature. Okay? The second line, I kind of want to have it do sort of where it starts over here on the opposite side, comes down to this side of this area. This is all, by the way, going to get filled up with residential at some point. How soon? I have no clue, admittedly. But of course, we're going to want to stop out in front of the school. And we're going to bring this across the bridge over to here. And I think... yeah, I think I know where I'm going to bring this. We're going to bring this down here. And we're going to bring that up to there, I suppose. I think that's fine. Yeah. Short lines, that's all we really need. Nothing crazy. Pretty easy to go and work with, in my opinion. Let's go and make our bus tool. And we'll do something like that. Bring you there. This is going to be our first bus line. It kind of acts as a main thoroughfare. And you are going to be our secondary bus line. And that should be what we need. It should go and automatically assign the regular bus model to that, so I don't need to worry about adjusting it per se. So there's that. We could add in a taxi depot as well, but I feel like that's just going to add too much traffic right there. The buses are going to be aiming to take the traffic congestion off of the road. At least that's the idea. I'm going to take a look at the bus lines. Bus line 1. Gonna start off with 3 vehicles. I think that's enough. I don't think I need to go and intervene and adjust. So 12, 10. No. 2. 6. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I need to intervene with that bus line. This bus line looks relatively calm. I don't see any issues with it. Having 4 buses on that, though, might be a bit of a stretch, so I think I'll drop that down to 3. And I think that should be fine. Okay. I wonder if I should go and connect to the outside world by bringing in a inner city bus line to here, but I don't... At the same time, I think that might be a bad idea. Now that I say that out loud. Unless I can go ahead and build that inner city depot or inner city station. The bus station, yeah, I can't build that yet. That's going to be 200,000 right there. Yeah, no, we're not doing that right now, buddy. Not today. Not today. Okay. We'll get rid of that notion. We got a lot of different unique buildings that we can end up placing, and we got access to parks. Cool. Okay, I'm going to end up placing just a small lighthouse. Kind of like right here at the end is kind of what I'm thinking of. Okay. And I kind of want to put a chirper park over here. Yep. We also got the coloring plaza, but I'll skip past that. The Dockyard Lounge Park. That might be something useful to put nearby wherever we decide to put the harbor. That's fine. What are we looking at for... Ooh, money is tight at the moment. 3,700. What are we expending the most of right now? Okay. Services. Kind of figured healthcare would be up there. Transportation is up there. Same for roads. Okay. So here's my thought process. One, we're going to increase service fees. Increase service fees by 10%. We're also going to increase water fees by 10%. Okay. Actually, it might just be better just to do 8% instead. That way it doesn't affect citizen happiness. Same for the electricity. So that does go and offset our debt to income ratio right there. Transportation. We can drop this down a little bit. I'm going to drop it to 80%. Healthcare, we're going to drop that also to 80%. Come on. That should end up fixing itself here in a minute. And I'm going to just drop our roads budget by 10%. That or I can get rid of the road maintenance vehicles because they're not really doing much except for like helping with well, I guess they're helping with a few different things, not major stuff. That's I guess okay. We got a couple of buses over here. I kind of want to go and get rid of one of these buses. I don't know. I don't know. The ticket prices, though, are definitely going to be something I want to lower, and I think $5 for each ticket should be fine. On any line. So that should be okay. That should be okay. Okay. We are at a little bit of a pickle because we did drop our current trend down to only 1,200. We just need to go and bring in a lot of people. That's all we really need to do. And I just heard a plane whiz past. How lovely. I'm going to put a medium density housing right here. That's going to take up our entire demand for, or not medium density, high density, low rent housing is what we're placing down. We'll go and place down some medium housing over here. Yeah. And we'll place some more right there. Damn. Okay. We're going to leave this area blank for the moment. And I kind of want to get some more regular residential over here. Okay. That should be fine. Now, if I remind myself, yeah, so we do have a little bit of a gap right here. So we can place down some more residential over this way. I'm going to just move this right there, I think. Yeah. We're going to place some more residential right there and more residential along there. Okay. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Our traffic congestion is pretty quiet at the moment, and I don't mind that. We are hitting that dent of the money trend, which is okay. You definitely have a lot of tenants, so you're not going to need to get more tenants anytime in the near future. And the fact that your tenants are already moving in, and the fact that you're right next to a bus stop, good lord, you're going to be busy. Because not only are you on a bus line that connects over to the industrial area, you're on a bus line that connects over to the other residential area, which is pretty good. I do kind of want to get a bus line that comes through here. It kind of just circulates a little bit, but that might be a little bit much in all honesty. At least in my opinion, it might be a little bit much. So, yeah, we can get one in, though. Okay. And since it will just be a simple shuttle bus, I don't think it needs more than, say, one bus on there. I'm going to look at that bus line just so that way I can check to see how many buses is it going to assign. 2. Drop that down to 1, please. Drop the ticket prices down to $5, and then we're good to go. It only needs 1 bus. A very short line like that doesn't need a high demand for a bus. So we'll just leave that as is for the moment. Who knows? Maybe I might expand it to the point where it's going to be an alternative bus route connecting over to the industrial area. Could happen. Could happen. We got a little bit of some... oh, burned down. Okay. Somebody's car, I guess, caught on fire. Yep. Thank you, police car. Help us out, please. Come on. Get this guy out of here. You're handling that that burnt down car. There we go. Okay. I do want to go and extend this road real quick because it does... I do intend to have this road be brought out to this side. This road right here, I'm going to end up having it curve along this sort of ridge right here. So that should be interesting. Oh, we got a little bit of traffic buildup going over here. Let's see. A little bit of traffic is congesting over here, so that's the issue. Let's make this a actual, like, traffic light. Hopefully that fixes the issue right there. People are coming in and out of this building, so no wonder why it's getting super busy. How many people do we got in there now? 128 households. Nice. Nice. Okay. I did also notice this. We got cul-de-sacs now. I've never messed around with the new cul-de-sacs. I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of just don't know how I feel about them. So, I guess I can just leave it right there and just have it be a thing. I don't know. I don't know what else to say to that. Okay. Let me get a sort of that going on there. And that. We're just going to add in some more row housing over here to help with that medium demand. And then we got a little bit of some high demand. So let's get another low rent house built over here next to our bus hub. Yep, and it looks like the traffic buildup is a thing over here. Lovely. Okay. Are we getting anywhere with getting rid of that trend? Yes, we are. Down to 535 right now. That's pretty good, actually. That is pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at happiness right now. Traffic is -3. Unreliable healthcare coverage, -1. Obviously, we know why that's happening, because we had to drop that service down to 80%. Yep. Yep. Okay, we are back into the positive now, not by much. So we can bring this healthcare up by a couple percentage. Okay, I'm going to let that run for a minute because that looks like it's going to need to. Looks like you're done and you're already letting people move on in. The Marley family, Peter Marley in there. Let's see. Where do you work at? You work as a robber. Huh? How'd you manage to move into that just by being a robber? Yeah. Okay. I guess people have their own unique ideas when it comes to that. Okay, yeah, we don't get a lot of people. We're not getting a lot of people on that bus line, so it might not be worth it to keep it around for long. One less vehicle on there. Okay. Let's see. Kind of want to get... I want to get another, like, neighborhood right here. Yeah, another neighborhood right over here would sound pretty good. In fact, what I can do... Ooh, and Vertigo Square. Nice, okay. Unlock that one plenty of times before. Let me go ahead and bring you out here. And we'll go ahead and bring you along. Yeah, we'll bring you along, just like so. And then we'll want to bring you to about right there. And that should be good. So this area will be another neighborhood. I'm going to floor plan this a little bit, but I want to get a large roundabout, or very large, right here. I think a medium one actually might be better. Yeah, a medium one would be better there. Yep. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll get a medium roundabout in right there. Future planning on that part. That way we're not too worried, so to speak. And I think we should be good. Okay, chat. So I do have 5 development points that we could end up spending. I'm not sure what direction we should go to. Maybe parking lots might actually be a good call. Pretty sure parking lots would be good. Yeah, I think parking lots would be a good bet to go with. So let's go ahead and unlock that. We still have 3 development points that we can spend if we choose to. And that unlocks a lot of parking spaces for us. Oh, goodness. So, let's see here. Want one of the medium, smaller ones. So, modest parking lot. Tiny. Let's see. Small. Nope. Don't want that. Okay. And let's see. We'll go ahead and get a medium size. Would that be worth it, though? To go and demolish those houses in order to get a parking lot in? Admittedly, I don't think so. I could put a gravel parking lot in over here. Yeah. Do that, and then it can rebuild. Yep, it can rebuild that right there. This actually works out pretty nicely because that means this actually works in the aspect where it's literally right next to the beach. And since all of these are waterfront houses, it just makes sense, in my opinion. Let's see, what else? Maybe a canopy one over here? Yeah. Can also put another canopy one right here, but yeah. I'm good with that. Also, our money trend is up to 700 now. That is good. We are having parking fees at 10... 10... I don't remember what the money rank it is that it uses. We are very close to actually getting the next progression. I think that the next progression does unlock a few things. So it unlocks energy consumption. It unlocks recycling, roadside parking, and speed bumps. Heavy traffic, gated community, and combustion engine ban are later on. So, when we get to that progression level 5, we can actually go ahead and get a decent number going on right there. Okay. That's pretty good. So, real quick, we're about 2 hours in, and I'm going to get us going here for just a second. So, we're about 2 hours in. I still plan to do another hour. I just got to step away here in a minute to go use the restroom. Normal habits. Has to happen. No biggie. I do plan on streaming again. Let's see. Not over the weekend, because over the weekend I'm going to be busy with work. But I will be back to stream on Wednesday next week with Poppy Playtime. And admittedly, I am a bit scared for that, because I have not played that game and I do not do well with survival horror games. Also, we just got the progression milestone for Tiny Town. I'll answer that here in a minute. But We're going to have Poppy Playtime next week on Wednesday. We're going to come back to City Skylines after today's stream, which we still got another hour to go. After today's stream, we'll come back to City Skylines next Saturday. Yeah. So, with that said, we're going to do a quick BRB. I will be right back. And hopefully everything turns out okay. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. When we come back, I hope that we will actually be able to start working on using the harbor stuff. So we'll go from there. We will. I'll be right back. And let's go ahead and get some Jim Yosef on. Okay. Sorry about that delay there, chat. Unfortunately, I had to take some extra time there. Okay, so we left off actually right before we ended up getting our 5th milestone. Let's actually get back into it, and then let's also aim to get some actual work sorted with the harbors. Because I only got like another half hour left before I have to end the stream. I know I took a little bit while for that break, so I do apologize. Let's go and do it. Okay, so we did unlock Tiny Town, 125,000 reward, 5 progression points, and 7 expansion tiles. We also got the Lobster Tail, a refined marine time ambience, where the lobster reigns supreme, offering a coastal culinary experience in every bite. Okay. Also got the steakhouse, and nice. Okay. We still got some traffic congestion over here, but that's fine. I am going to go ahead and get the roadside parking fee sorted out. That is going to help bolster our incoming money. It's not going to be the sole purpose of our incoming money, but it'll have to do. Okay, we are getting... Wait, why are you trying to build right there? I didn't zone that, did I? Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm forgetting. How is it that I'm supposed to get rid of ground pollution? Or is there not a way to get rid of it right now? I think you just have to wait over time for that. Okay. Well, there's that. Yay. Let me look at our population statistics, because I think that we are... Yeah, our unemployment is at 25%. So I have no clue why we have such a high demand for all the residential types. We don't have enough enough jobs to go and satisfy the demand for that many residents. Okay, well, let's try and get some more jobs in the city, because right now we have nowhere even close the number of people able to go ahead and even like do the bare minimum. So that leads me to the point of maybe we should work on our harbor. We are a little bit strapped for cash, so I can't go ahead and use the medium port entrance. Okay, so the main gate to the port area. It features a small office and vehicle inspection area for incoming and outgoing traffic. The port area can be completed with container cranes, warehouses, container yards, tank farms, orage storage yards, intermodal train terminals, passenger ship terminals, employee canteens, port security, and emergency response services, and auxiliary gates. Interesting. So, interesting. Let's see. Different types of roads right here, which hopefully will be interesting to play around with. We do have access to the ferry depot. I don't necessarily need to use the ferry depot right now, but I'm glad that we have it, at least. We also have one of the specialized industries. Yeah, so it's the fishing and an open water fishing area. Okay. Let's see. So do I actually have to... Yeah, I have to have it, like, nearby. So let me put it right there. So I guess that this is where we end up connecting it to do a bit more. Oh, and that's how you go ahead and expand it out. Okay. Interesting. And then you get the storage that connects to the building and can be placed nearby it. And you got the open water fish farm and the fishing area. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So does that mean that what you're essentially doing is you're providing the actual spot for fishermen to go ahead and do that? So say I wanted to place you right here. Oh, and then I get to go ahead and oh, okay. Go ahead and get to mess around with it a little bit. I'm going to pause game right there so that way I'm not running the game too long. And, okay, I kind of don't mind that. Then we do need to go and connect it like so. Okay. Or something similar to that at least. And then I can possibly also get a fishing area. Oh, this makes me want to go ahead and take these next two tiles. I think I would have enough per hour to go and get them, so let me go and take on 2 extra tiles over here. Yeah, actually do 3. 28K to purchase, and only an additional, like, I didn't see the exact information, but yeah. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and what I want to do is I want to go ahead, place that there. So I do have to zone it out as though I have an idea as to the size of this. No idea what the true size of it should be. And I guess I could place multiple down. Can I actually have them literally? Oh, I can. Okay, I can have them be literally like right next to each other. Okay. This should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and have you be like 102 there. And it's a little bit of a snake bend, but I think that's good for our starting area. And then we'll have the open fishing areas right over here. And they have a similar sort of mechanic about how you end up building them. Okay. Okay, and these ones actually are a little bit more precision focused, so they're not necessarily going to work the same way. And go ahead and place another right there. Get the straight pieces in for you two. Delete that bit. That wasn't actually purely straight. I know it's really dark in the game right now, so bear with me, chat. this. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this out like that first. And then go straight. Before I take you and come across to like right there. Can I actually connect you two? I can. I don't think that's a good idea though, but I'm glad that we can. Also, can I go ahead and resize? Yeah, so using the same area tool that we have access to, you can go and resize these if you wanted. So I could, if I, in theory, bring you down to there and you over to like right there. Yep. And I can end up having you guys be like that. Huh. Nice. Okay. I am gonna just be a bit curious about this because this is a little bit finicky. Yeah, okay. So I guess you're being finicky for some bizarre reason? Weird. Okay. I am gonna bring you down to like right there. And over to there. Okay. Pretty decent size areas, to be honest. I do actually, and now that I'm looking at it, I think it might be worth it to place another one like right over here. Okay. Let's use this tool real quick. Let's see. Bring you up dead along. Like right there. I think that works. Yeah. Got 4 areas on both sides. That should be plenty. Interesting dockyard, in my opinion. And then it does have a storage upgrade, so I'm going to place a... Oh, we can't place that right there. Okay. Could place you along here. Okay, so this kind of gives the whole, like, dockyard vibes, so to speak. Okay. I don't mind that. Place just a couple of the small ones right there. Nothing crazy. I think that works. I think that works quite nicely. We'll let that run for a minute, just because we do need to get the extra money, and we are just barely above threshold, which... Oh boy, that has just dropped below into the negative. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this singular sliver right there, because it looks like it does not like that spot. Okay. Population. 25.6%. Not ideal. Let's go and get some more industrial placed, because I really do think we need more industrial inside of our city. Okay. Ooh. Okay. A little bit of a glitch right there, but I think that's fine. Go ahead and bring you right there. And let's go and bring you to like that. Bring you also like over here a little bit. Okay, so my thought process on this is relatively simple. We need more industrial, and we're going to get more industrial. So let's go ahead and get some more buildings zoned over here. And we should be Gucci. Okay. We also have a demand for some offices. I don't know how I feel about that, but offices aren't a bad call, to be honest. I think I will go and just put a couple offices over here. Just so that way we're not, like, overburdening the city with the number of offices that we have. And then we do need to get some more commercial. So let's go and get that. We can put some commercial buildings right there. And let's see. Put one right there. That's fine. Okay. I think that these are relatively going to be fine for the most part. We only added in a little bit, and I don't think that's changed it by much. Let's see. It did change it down to 10%, though. That's actually pretty good. With a population of 4,000, 77% are adults, so give or take, that's supposed to be a workforce that is comparable to about 3,000. Okay. So we could end up getting a few more. We're down to 9.6. Okay, okay. I think we can work with that. We can definitely work with that. Let's here. Kind of want to get some more industrial over here, so that might be a good call to make. Yeah, that might be a good call. I'm gonna do a couple bits and pieces here, I think. So we'll do that. That. Yeah. Let's go and get this curved out a little bit. Okay. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and get a little bit of some industrial over here. Okay. What type of unique buildings can we place real quick? Express on the go, lobster, steakhouse, Lord, which that's the tea shop. We got the Vertigo building. We got the Versus Place. We can place the Vertigo. I'll place that just right there, right next to the park. Which actually looks pretty good. Ooh, a little bit of a lag spike right there. Okay, so I think the traffic is pretty good over here. Ooh, pedestrian traffic is picking up. Okay, so with that says, that tells me that we need some overpasses over here. Let's get that right there. And what that tells me is I can do a bit of this action. Oh, you actually... Ooh, lovely. It's not ideal. That's not good. That is extremely not good. Let me go ahead and rebuild this real quick. I have a different idea that I can go at. Since most of the population lives on this side, the arch could end up being where it starts on this side and kind of does like an S-bend, so to speak. Because it looks like they're all, like some of the pedestrians are trying to make their way over to the offices. Or better yet, they're trying to make their way over to this bus stop. Oh my lord. Bus... Who actually has the higher number? 18. That does not look right. Oh, that's a lot of people queued to take the bus. Oh, that's bus 1. I'm gonna double get like 2 additional vehicles on that line because we need it. We desperately need it. I got a better idea as far as like that the pedestrian traffic is concerned, because they are coming over here on this side. They're going to be coming up this sort of area right here. So let's go ahead and build a sort of overpass bridge like right over here. And I want to... Oh, you don't have enough clearance. Oh, that's fair because you got the pylons right there. I forgot about that. I might have to do an underground, which is kind of disappointing because I do not like doing pedestrian paths underground. But it'll have to do. Let's go and get... And I kind of want to put a wide pedestrian path here because I feel like it's going to get busy. Ooh, and then we got the those right there. So hold on, let me get rid of these pylons real quick because I have a different idea for the pylons at some point. But I need to get this path built first. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's fine. But we're not done yet. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna grab this piece right here. Bring that 61 down. Actually, yeah, 61 down. And then I'm gonna build like kind of like a underground sort of network right here. Underground. And this should hopefully help us with the congestion a little bit. looked like it was 2 past. Yeah. Underground. I'm doing that whole like thing with City Skylines 1 because City Skylines 1, the V button was to go ahead and bring up the actual underground view. And that's what I was thinking of right there. So, I suppose I can just bring you up 30 yards there and yeah, that should be fine actually. What? Why is that? No. Okay, and I think that having this on both sides might actually be better. I'm gonna redo that one because that one kind of looks a little bit shit. Okay. Underground view, please. Thank you. Grid view, please. Oh. Curve. We go ahead and get rid of that. Because this is being a little bit ridiculous. Okay. I think that it should be somewhere around there. I can't do complex. Complex is gonna mess it up. Okay, I think that works. I think. Also, I need to go and reconnect that power line. How do I want to do that? So I could end up having the power line be like right here. Get rid of the underground view, please. You know what? I might as well just put it right there. Yep, I know I'm overlapping. Okay, and place you right there. And it's a little bit messed up. Okay. Huh. Oh. Damn. Okay. Does make things a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna have to just move this around a little bit. Okay. That's fine. I'll make it work. Yeah, I'll make that work. Okay. And, there we go. Well, kinda. I think that'll have to do. Let me go ahead and get rid of snapping the road. Yep, and that should be fine. Kind of wanting to... right there, maybe? Yeah. Okay, if it's kind of hard to figure out what I'm actually doing, I am trying my best to make sure that because my OCD is kind of kicking into high gear, going like, hey, this needs to be symmetrical. And that's as close as symmetrical as I'm most likely am going to get it. How lovely. Okay. I'm also going to upgrade this road real quick to be asymmetric. That way it's just consistent. And I think that's fine. At least for now. At least for now. Okay. Looking at the time. Oh, shit. Okay. Excuse my language, but damn, time has just been flying by. Wasn't expecting to fly by that quickly. We are currently 10,000 in profit, which is pretty good, and I feel like I know where most of that profit is coming from. Let's see. It's not coming from our... It's not coming from our taxes. It's actually... Well, we are getting some taxes right there. Service trades, exported electricity is only about 19K, which is fine. Public transit fees, 35,000. Healthcare fees, 2,000. Garbage fees, 8,000. Water, 11,000. Electricity, 25. Parking fees, 34K. Oh my goodness. And then taxes, pretty decent. Industrial, of course, has a high tax rate right now, which is expected. And I think, chat, that is pretty good in my part. Oh, and they actually redeveloped the production screen. I didn't realize this. Okay, so let me go down to fish products real quick. I think that's going to be down here. Right here. Okay. So we do have a deficit growing right now. It's getting most of it's getting processed into convenience foods and regular foods. Surplus will get exported, but right now we have a deficit. There is a lack of production of resource. Ooh, okay, so yeah, we need quite a lot. We do need quite a lot, I guess. Interesting. Very interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that. So this will have to be something that we work on during the next stream. Oh, we get winter on this map. I didn't realize that. Oh boy, that's certainly going to be a little bit of a cliffhanger because guess what, chat? That is the unfortunate side effect about doing this live. I have to decide now that I need to go ahead and end the stream because it's now 6 o'clock. I need to hop off. I got some housework that I gotta do and some videos that I gotta edit. So have fun. Have fun. I'm gonna be back on Wednesday next week and every Wednesday up until Thanksgiving, where I'll be playing Poppy Playtime. We may end up playing Project Playtime at some point this month. I just don't know when. And then we're gonna have another City Skylines 2 live stream next Saturday on the 15th. Okay. We're gonna do another stream of City Skylines again. And yeah, that's essentially all that I got planned for this month. Kind of a small amount, I know, but it's something that I'm gonna be enjoying. I think I'll definitely be enjoying that. So, thanks for tuning on in. I'm gonna be working on some video edits tonight, so hopefully I should have a YouTube video out tomorrow. Either tomorrow or on Saturday. I don't really know. It'll change most likely. Either way, thanks for tuning on in. I will see you guys for the next stream. Ciao.